D-line is fundamentals that we've got to teach, and we teach them in this order: stance, footwork, hand placement, and eyes. If those 4 things aren't right, we have no chance to defeat the blocks the way that we're asking them to do it. Linebacker fundamentals are keys. We teach them in the box versus out of the box. If they're in the box, we're going to key through a triangle, which means we're going to key through the first level of the O-line into the backfield. If we're out of the box, we used to key tackles. We now key the mesh point. We got a lot of false reads from tackles, a lot of things that would be influence blocks. They would pass set, and it would be a run play. So they kind of use that against us. So we've gone into keying the mesh between the quarterback and running back, and that's solved a lot of issues, and it's made things very, very clear for them. We have a progression that I'm going to walk through here basically, and then we'll get to game film. We have a 2-on-1 block ID, 2 linemen versus 1 D lineman. Then we'll go half line, and then we'll go into actually working pods with our linebackers. Again, I know that's not necessarily revolutionary, but I think some of the ways that we play these things could give you guys some different ideas. So we're going to start with practice film here, buzz through it pretty quick, and then I'll get to some actual game film and show you how it actually fits up in a game situation. So if you're just watching through here, again, this is our 2-on-1 block ID. So this is a 3 technique. Just working without linebackers right here. Okay, so you can see as we're watching through this again, what we're teaching him. So he's getting what we call as an inside release right there. So his job is to pec hip that. And what that means, his left hand should go on the pec of that offensive player, and that hand's trying to actually raise his chest up. His right hand is pushing on his hip and trying to collapse him down. The reason we put it on his hip, the hip's a collapsible point, meaning if you put pressure on it, his body's actually going to collapse, and he's not going to be able to climb up to the linebacker as quick. So inside release, again, it's a 45-degree angle of departure, trying to climb up to the mic. That D lineman's first and primary job is to get a pec hip on that, slow him down from getting to the mic. And again, we're going to be very specific with that, where we want the hand placement. Okay, now you can see our nose shade here. So this is essentially a pin pull, but what we do is we tell them only worry about the actual block that you're getting. So if we ask this nose right here, what is that block? He would say that's a base turnout. His role in a base turnout is to frontal that. Frontal means he's going to actually come over top. We're always trying to get our D linemen to fight pressure. If they're trying to block you a certain way, there's obviously a reason for that. And we don't want to waste him, just say, hey, stay in that weak A gap just in case. So you can see this is a great job by him. He gets a base block with a pull. His role is to frontal that, which means come into the strong side A gap. Keep your shoulders square, don't turn. Show you some clips coming up here. The Will becomes that cutback player. So he's got to get back in the box. Okay, again, a couple clips of this one here. This is another really good example of that same situation. So watching the nose, again, he's got to get to that strong side A gap. Okay, that's a frontal, and that's where our linebackers are going to fit off of him. So when we tell our Mike he's A strong, well, right here, if we see that that shade is frontaled into the A gap, that's going to actually help him to gap exchange. So that way we're not wasting players. But again, that is our frontal technique when I talk about it later on here in some game film. Okay, this is our bandit. This is our 5 technique. Nothing revolutionary about a reach. Everybody has their own way of teaching it. We do teach a push-pull, a long arm, short arm. So you can see right there, if I can get it paused in the right spot, he's trying to long arm with his left arm, pull with that inside arm. Where this does change for us, and again, there's some good clips here in a minute. Our backer is fitting 1 yard outside by 2 yards depth. So that's his aiming point right there. If this bandit gets reached, so he becomes a B gap player, well, this backer, the reason we have him at 2 yards depth is now he can become that C gap player. Okay, and vice versa, if that bandit, like he does in this situation, he's the C gap player, he plays the reach perfectly. Well, because we fit that 2-yard box, I can now fit inside gap exchange and become that B gap player. It takes a little bit of work with the D line and linebackers, but essentially one of the reasons we like this is the D line really can't be wrong. It's up to the linebackers to make them right. So it does free that D line up a little bit. Okay, watching our joker here. Again, our joker is playing a ghost 6. Some things that are important for him to know. Again, he's getting a reach here, but the reason we can play him in a ghost 6, he does not have to worry about an inside release and getting a pec hip. And that's the big difference between our joker, our 6 technique, and our 5 technique. As you can see, we have a 3 technique right here. So he is essentially protecting the mic from that inside release. So if he gets that as the joker, he's just going to square up and play stay. He doesn't have to worry about getting hands on him. So he should never get reached, ever. The bandit, it's understandable because he's playing a 5, has to get a pec hip. The joker doesn't. So we should never see him get reached. And that Sam should know that because the Sam's fitting off him. So again, really good picture right here of the joker playing that reach. Now, since he's outside and he plays the reach correctly, that Sam is going to be sprint to gather. Once he gathers, that means he's to his 2-yard box. He would now become that B gap defender. He's going to fit off of the joker.